This is Spanish 3, Family and Community, Vocab 61 through 65. I'm going to say the following words in English, then Spanish, and then clap. And after I clap, I'd like you to repeat both the English and the Spanish with me, okay? 61, to walk, caminar. To walk, caminar. 62, to walk, andar. To walk, andar. 63, road or path, camino. Road or path, camino. 64, to ask for directions, preguntar el camino. To ask for directions, preguntar el camino. And 65, to give directions, indicar el camino. To give directions, indicar el camino. All right, let's look. The word caminar or camino appears 4 times. Caminar, camino, camino, camino. So obviously that's really important. Now, how are we going to remember that caminar is to walk? Well, it's very common in Spanish-speaking countries to see people walking. Say that. It's very common in Spanish-speaking countries to see people walking. In America, we don't have a lot of sidewalks and a lot of pedestrian traffic in medium and small-sized towns. Everyone's driving. Or, I see a lot of men walking in Spanish-speaking countries. Everybody, I see a lot of men walking in Spanish-speaking countries. So, caminar is to walk is caminar. Now, andar is also to walk. Which is more common? Well, they're both fine. Okay, like I walked, I strolled, I went for a constitutional, they're all the same. And they like to walk. Say that. And they like to walk. Or I wouldn't want to walk across the Andes, or Andy is a big walker. All those are possibilities. Now, if caminar is to walk, camino means I walk or path. Everybody say camino. Camino means I walk or path. If you see a person going down a path, generally they're walking. And again, walking is very common on paths. All right, now, in English we say to ask for directions. In Spanish they say preguntar el camino. Literally, to ask the trail, to ask the path. But it doesn't mean to ask the trail, it means to ask for directions. Now, be careful. Everybody say pedir. Pedir. Pedir is to request or to ask for. We went over that in Spanish 1 and 2. And everybody say pedal. Pedal. And I talked about if you break your pedal, you can ask for a new pedal or request a new pedal. Or if you break your pedal, you can ask for a new bicycle or request a new bicycle. But they don't use to ask for here. They use to ask. Literally. Remember, preguntar is to ask a question. Everybody say preguntar. Preguntar. Here's how I remember that. Preguntar is to ask a question. Pre or before buying a gun, you should ask a lot of questions, like maybe ask a question about where you can do some target practice. Pre or before buying a gun, you should ask a lot of questions. So preguntar is to ask a question. So literally, preguntar el camino means to ask a question in the trail. Be careful, a lot of people miss that. Now, indicar looks like indicate. Everybody say indicate. If I indicate where something is, I point it out, okay? So everybody say indicar el camino. Indicar el camino. It could mean to give directions or to indicate directions. Now notice, they're not using dar. They don't say to give directions, they say to indicate the path. Tricky list, you might want to watch these again because they don't really literally word for word translate from English. They're a little different in Spanish. All right, let's take time for a post quiz. I'd like you to look at these words in English and say the Spanish equivalents out loud, or even better, look at these words in English and write the Spanish equivalents down. This has been Spanish 3, Family and Community, Vocab 61 through 65.